Update 12.5 for Escape From Tarkov has just been released, and I'm going to be showing you my graphics settings for Escape From Tarkov as well as PostFX settings to make your game more visually pleasing, as well as making it a lot easier to see people both in dark corners, further away in the distance, and hiding in bushes. This is going to cover it all. When 0.12 first got released, you guys seemed to love my graphics settings video that I made, and I'm happy to tell you all I haven't changed my graphics settings much, if at all, but I'm going to quickly break that down for people that haven't seen that video, or to give you guys a refresher of what I'm using. So in my game tab in the settings menu, what I have ticked is auto RAM cleaner. This clears your RAM constantly, not allowing your RAM to get too bogged down with temporary files. I've also turned my FOV up to 74. The reason I've done it 74 and not 75 is because 75 is still bugged and makes your bullets rise higher than you're actually shooting, but 74 seems fine in my testing, and it still allows me to see a lot of my peripheral vision. Moving one tab over now to the graphics tab, I'm going to quickly list down everything. I'm not going to explain everything because that'll take too long, but if you do have any questions on what each section means, let me know down below in the comments and I'll be happy to respond. So we're going to start with my screen resolution. That's just my monitor's native resolution, and my screen mode is borderless. The reason I've got it as borderless is because I do a lot of tabbing in and out to different monitors. If you don't do that, feel free to have it on full screen, but people saying that borderless gives you an input delay, you don't really notice it on Tarkov. I've done testing before as well, so I've always had it on borderless or full screen windowed. Then the overall quality is set to high, but that will change to custom anyway once we start delving in and changing more settings, so you could pretty much leave that wherever you want. I've just got it set to high, so it automatically changes some of the settings below, so I don't have to individually go and change each one. I've put my texture quality and my shadow quality both to high, and then I've set my object LOD quality down to 2. Overall visibility is set to 2000. I feel like this is still the peak, now we're getting bigger maps, but if you're struggling with FPS, make it down to 1500 or 1000, that will boost your FPS quite a lot. Then, shadow visibility is all the way down. It don't make the shadows too intense, so it'll allow you to see in dark corners a lot easier, and it'll allow you to see through windows clearer. Anti-aliasing is set to TAA. They're improving anti-aliasing over the patches, so I've set it to TAA with a resampling of 1. Then HBAO, SSR, and anisotropic filtering are all set to off. They pretty much do nothing good for the game. They don't make it better looking, they certainly don't make it clearer for you to see people, and it just tanks your FPS, so I've turned them all off. My sharpness is 1.1, it's usually set to 0.7 by default, so I've cranked it up a little bit just to give a little bit of extra sharpness to the visuals. My lobby FPS limit and game FPS limit are set to max at 60 and 120, and I recommend everyone do that. And then Z-blur, chroma aberrations, noise, and grass shadows are all unticked. The next tab over, we have PostFX. Now this is where it gets interesting. It'll turn your game from looking like this to looking like this, and it will give you a little bit of an advantage in darker areas like inside buildings, but it's made intentionally so it don't give you a massive advantage, so don't think that you're going to be seeing like you're wearing night vision like you could do with reshade, because that's not what this is intended for. A quick thing to note also is you can see this PostFX changes live in RAID. You don't need to keep going out of RAID and into RAID to see it. All you need to do is enable PostFX and click the visualize button, and you'll bring up the PostFX tab while seeing what you're seeing in RAID, and you'll be able to change it and you'll see those changes made on the fly. So in terms of my settings, I have my brightness still set to 0 with a little bit more saturation of 15. My clarity is cranked quite a way up to 70, it will allow me to see further in the distance. And my colourfulness is set to 30, it gives those bushes a nice little green colour but it's not too intense. Luma Sharpen is set quite a way up to 50, this gives a great level of detail over all objects, and Adaptive Sharpen is set to 10 to give it a little bit extra sharpening, but again, it's not too intense. I've actually got a colour grading on this as well. Colour grading is set to Zabid with an intensity of 35. I don't like it being too intense, but I like this colour grading. It gives it a nice sunny hue, and it'll allow the bushes to have a little bit more colour to them. And it makes enemy and scav outlines more intense so you can see them in darker places. Now with these visualizer tools, I do recommend you going into an offline raid and playing about with them, and there may be some situations where these post effects need to change slightly, so I do recommend just doing it on the fly. It only takes a couple of minutes, and find out what settings are best for you, but these settings are great if you want to see people further away or in dark corners, as well as giving the game a nice, bright, colourful feel. And the final tab we're going to look at is sound settings. It's not quite graphics settings, but there is a little tip that I will give you that I mentioned in 0.12 and a few people had questions. So I've turned the interface volume all the way down to 10. It's not quite off completely, but it turns down the packing of mags and the searching bags and filing cabinets all really low when you're doing it, but it actually keeps the volume of other people doing it quite high. So you'll be able to hear people coming up to you when you're looting or you're packing mags, because you can hear their footsteps a lot easier than if it was up high, but you'll still be able to hear other people doing it pretty easily as well. So that isn't so much a graphic setting, but it's a little tip that I give to you in these difficult times of Tarkov. But anyway guys, that is it for this video. I hope it helped you, and let me know down below in the comments if you have any questions. Like I said, I'm happy to answer all of them to the best of my ability. If it did help you, a like is always appreciated, and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest Tarkov content. Stay safe everyone, I hope you're keeping well. Give your sister or your mother a kiss from me, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. I'd like to thank you all for staying to the end of this video, but before I end it, I want to tell you something about Shadow. Shadow is a company I'm working with to promote max gaming PC settings anywhere you are. Shadow is a cloud-based subscription service, and currently in Europe they're offering the ability to pre-order one of their free new tiers of membership, starting at only £12.99. Or if you live in the US, then Shadow continues to offer their regular subscription service for $30 a month. You can play any games, max settings, anywhere you are. If you have a broken down PC, a shitty laptop, or even a Mac, you can still play games like Tarkov in max settings, 1440p 60fps. And this is actually how I record all my gameplay and stream Tarkov at this point in time. So if you liked how the video looked in this video, then check out the link in the description and it will take you to Shadow's website. You could do more research there, and if you do decide to sign up using the code SAMOSH, then you will get a discount on your first month. Thank you everyone for watching, toodle pip cheerio, and enjoy your evening lads.